Wait for it. Wait for it. What do Baby Yoda, Grogu, not really Baby Yoda, I know, and the nature of reality have in common? That's actually what we're talking about in this video. We're talking about this idea of impermanence. Let's dive in. Hey everybody, Leslie here. I am a healer, acupuncturist, and spiritual guide, and I help healers, empaths, and sensitive people release the trauma trapped in their body without years more of therapy by really understanding the technical wire of the subtle body, sum total of the mind-body system. And this little guy needs no introduction, whether you call him Baby Yoda or Grogu, he is pretty gosh darn cute. And a couple weeks ago, I was walking through Costco and I saw this little set of Star Wars dog toys. And my sister, I don't have any nieces or nephews, but my sister does have a dog, and so I will send cute little Mabel the dog some dog toys. And as I got home, it was this set, this little guy, another guy, and a little, Star Wars themed bone. You may have seen it at your local Costco. This is not a product push for them. I'm not affiliated with them. And as I started to put him in the package, I paused, because anybody that has ever sent a dog toy to a dog, any kind of dog, especially a medium to large dog, knows that you are sending that dog toy to certain death. Within record time, his little squeaker will be ripped out. He will be no more. You are sending him to a certain death. And I just looked at his cute little face, and in that moment I was having a lot of resistance to actually sending the dog toy to the dog itself because of its cuteness, and especially because of my attachment. Now, naturally, as humans, we get attached to stuff that's cute, stuff that we like, stuff that tends to make us feel better, and we naturally have an aversion to stuff that we don't like or that seems bad. And on the surface, that's just, part of how we are made, arguably biologically and evolutionary, but it can become a real stumbling block on the personal and spiritual path. So one of the tools that can really help us is this idea of impermanence. Now, impermanence is particularly well talked about in the Tibetan traditions, Tibetan Bön, which came before Tibetan Buddhism, and also in Tibetan Buddhism itself. And it's the idea, the noticing of the truthful factor that in our outer world, everything changes. That in the outer world, which includes our bodies and our homes and the mountains and the oceans, that everything is constantly changing. Everything that comes in, is born, is birthed, grows, is sprouting, will ultimately decay and die. That everything in the natural world, ourselves included, is coming through a birth or generation cycle, a little bit time of maturity and maintaining, and then death, dissolution, and going back into that cycle. Now, that seems pretty normal when we're talking about it, but when we start to talk about not just cute things that we like, but also our own life, the mind really starts to have a fit. We all know that we're gonna die, but we don't really think about it, and our mind really does its best to block that out of our system. And this is actually a real problem because, one, it is the nature of reality. Nobody gets out of this gig alive. And by denying the aspect of impermanence, we create clinging situations in which we are causing ourselves to suffer, have not just bad feelings about what's going to happen, but fighting against the nature of reality itself. That is one of the great ways that we cause ourselves to suffer. So, nobody really loves this idea of like, oh, we're all gonna die, and you have to force your mind to really realize and operate as if death can come at any moment. And it's really true. People don't like it, the mind doesn't like it, but it's not depressing. If your reaction in this moment is like, well, gosh, Leslie, you're kind of a downer, I don't really want to think about that. Notice which part of you is that coming from. Is it coming from the mind, the part of ourself that lives in separateness, that tries to get control, that gaslights us to give it the keys to the car, your life, even though it has run the car off a cliff, killed some children outside of school by running through the crosswalk, and done numerous things. Your mind is a part of ourselves that counterbalances to the heart or the soul, the part of ourselves to which nothing has ever happened, that is in touch with the great unity and the nature of the unchanging nature of your great mystery, however you call that in your working spiritual hypothesis. So key points here. 1, impermanence is a real thing. Everything that comes into being will also die, myself included, and everyone and everything that I love in this outer world will also follow that cycle. 2, there are 2 parts of myself. A mind part, and some teachers like to call this the ego. It's not a particular, ego is not really a great, very precise term, so I tend to use mind as the part of ourselves that is a separation factor, and different traditions really pick this apart, but for our purposes, and the way we teach it in deeper lessons, mind versus heart, the more abiding part of ourselves. This mind part does not like the idea of impermanence. 3, the goal is to come into a deeper acceptance and relationship with impermanence, which is the nature of the reality in which we find ourselves. What that does is it gives us great freedom. 1, it just aligns us with truth versus mind's version of reality, which is always a little bit off and causes us to suffer, versus the heart understanding of what endures even while the outer world is going through this cycle. It creates a priority in our system. If we really wake up as we know that things are not assured and certain, it helps us hone in our human priorities, our values, our action steps. It helps us clarify and come into right relationship with the actual nature of reality versus the mind's view, which is just like, oh, somehow we'll ignore that's gonna happen and just do some other things and try to control shit in a different way, which PS never works. So here's an actual practical thing that you can do on a daily basis, whether it's with cute dog toys that you're going to send to your sister's dog and they're going to devour it within a short amount of time, or anything in your life, any of the possessions, anything that you enjoy. You want to start to practice this twofold aspect practice of appreciating and also acknowledging its impermanence. I was sharing this idea of impermanence with my mom and encouraging her to sort of, practice this of letting go, of really remembering that things around us, I'm able to let them go. And her reaction from the mind, which was really natural, was, but I still want to enjoy them. So if your mind needs a little cookie watching this video, the little cookie is you do get to enjoy them. But you do not get to enjoy them under the mind error understanding that you will always have them, that the only way you can be okay is when they are there. So I had to do my own little work around sending this cute little guy out, that I can enjoy him. I've had him a little extra couple weeks around the house because I kind of delayed in sending, and processing whatever that sticky part was in myself is also helping me, maybe also watching this video, making this video, so you're helping me in that way, to enjoy and also acknowledge that all things change. That helps align me, as we said, with number 3, the benefit of impermanence. It aligns me with what I'm really aligned with, which is offering this gift, which is something fun. My sister is the person that got me to watch The Mandalorian, so it's a little point of connection in that way. And I'm more aligned with that now because I'm more out of the mind grasping that I was having of like, no, don't send him away, he's so cute. So you can see how this cycle works, and you can apply this in your own life on a daily basis. If you find yourself really in enjoyment, allow yourself to enjoy it fully, and also start to come into a deeper letting go by knowing that this and all outer world things change. What this ultimately does as a practice is to really bring us back to the way of the heart and into deeper connection with the part of ourselves that does not change, that abiding awareness on the inside. So in this fall, we'll also be taking a group through my practical spirituality training. So if this really sparkles for you and you want to go deeper in really understanding the tricks of your mind and how to actually practically walk the ways of the heart, to really come into the essence of your own understanding of your working spiritual hypothesis, and to be able to freely live your heart's purpose without the interference of the mind, that's what we'll be doing. So stay tuned. I'll have some more videos and things coming in the following weeks and months. Thanks for watching this video. If you know somebody else who is a Baby Yoda Grogu fan, or really just is into walking the path of understanding the deeper nature of reality, send it along. I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible really live their lives on purpose in a heart-aligned way, free from the snags of the subtle body mind wiring things that can happen with being a human. This is Leslie Huddart saying you are a soul with a body. You deserve great things. See you next time. You're so cute.